Hey everybody, welcome back to the Lorcana Lounge. We are coming up on the week of set 4 release. We are extremely excited. Felt like it was getting stale, even though it's only been out. Set 3 has only been out, 3 months? That's what they do, right? 3 months?
Yep.
So we're excited. We are stoked. I've not done too much research on these. We've been posting them in Discord as they come out, but I don't really read them. I just show them. So we're going to go through them all today, so we can get a better grasp on what everything is for this weekend. We're doing a couple starter deck challenge and a draft event at 2 of our local shops. And yeah, hopefully this will help us and you guys know the cards better so we can win those things. I know one of them is a trove for the prize, so I'm excited for that. So to get started, this is card number 1. We're doing Amber today, obviously. Card number 1. This is Augustine Madrigal, Clumsy Dad. He is inkable. He comes in for 1. He hits for 2. He defends for 2. He quests for 1. He's a common. He's a very vanilla card. Not too much else to say there. So, card number 2.
Card number 2, Alma Madrigal, matriarch of the family. I do not know. I can't speak Italian. I'm going to read the English translation. So it is all at the table. When you play this character, look at your deck. You may reveal a Madrigal character, shuffle your deck, and put that card on top of your deck. She is a 3-cost uninkable. Hits for 1, has 3 willpower, quest for 2, and is a rare.
If you guys care, the flavor text is, "Let's be clear, Abuela runs this show." And Mirabelle says that. But yeah, that's a first search your deck card, which is cool.
Yeah, it is the first search your deck card, which I like that a lot. I feel like that's kind of been missing. I'm glad to see it come in. I'll be curious. We've only seen one other Madrigal character, and I know that's not one that I would want to search and put on top of my deck. But I'm curious what all they'll have in here. And frankly, a 3-cost that can quest for 2 isn't horrible anyway. So 3 toughness is all right. This isn't. I like this. I hopefully there's some Madrigal bombs that you can pull and put them on top of your deck, and I like that.
I know there's quite a few in Amber, and I think I saw a couple in Emerald, but can't remember for sure what all of them do. So we will have to figure that out.
We'll know soon.
On to number 3. We have Ariel. She is inkable. She costs 4. She hits for 3. She defends for 3. And she is a Singer 7. That is a first. I think the highest we've ever seen is Singer 5.
Yeah, I think so.
She quests for 2. She is a rare. And, I mean, that's pretty basic. We all know what Singer is. But that is interesting that...
Yeah,
that is interesting that it goes up that high now, which I know it goes higher. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, the Singer 7 is interesting. I mean, the fact that it goes to 7 is interesting, but also the fact that it's on a 4-cost. So I think most of the time that we've seen it, the Singer value is 2 higher than their actual cost. This one is 3 higher than the actual cost. And I know that's pretty common. I know with the shifts, most of the shifts are 2 less than the regular cost. I think might be 1 or 2 that aren't 2 cost less. When you do the shift cost. So it's kind of cool to see them stepping away from that trend and creating a little bit of variety there. I look forward to seeing what 7-cost songs they put in there that's more than just Be Prepared.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. So on to card number 4.
Card number 4, Cinderella Melody Weaver. It's a 5-cost inkable. 1 strength, 5 toughness, has Singer 9, quest for 2, and is our first legendary that says whenever this character sings a song, Other princess characters get +1 lore this turn. Again, 5 cost that's singing for 9 now. That's a 4 cost difference. But yeah, 9 cost is a big. That's different. Not. I know there are songs from what we've seen already in some of the discords that I've seen that are going up that high. So it really depends on what we get to those, and how valuable those end up being. Because there's a few of them that we've seen. I think they're interesting. There's countless more that we haven't seen. Maybe not countless. I probably could count them once we get to them, but I look forward to seeing what they can do.
So not only is she our first legendary, she's actually our first enchanted too. And
interesting feedback on some of the enchanteds for this set. I know one of the guys in our Discord was pretty disappointed that a lot of the characters in this set are the enchanted versions are just the character on a pretty plain background. A pretty plain background. Black. And like once he brought that to my attention, I got noticing or kind of looked at him myself as well, and he's kind of right. It's a kind of different, and I don't think I care for it. But I will say, maybe it's a variety thing, and they're just doing it for a set, or part of this set is they're trying to do something a little different. Maybe it'll be cool once we get them all side by side and looking at them, but it is a departure from the norm.
Yeah, this set and last set, there was the majority of them to me were just very bland, and I've not seen all of them in this set, but I mean, this looks cool, but like it also could have been really cool if there was a background.
Yeah.
So I mean, I 100% agree that it would have been better. And I know that there's others, so it's just pretty much a black background.
Yeah. Yep.
Kind of boring. But on to the next card, we have another Cogsworth, Major Domo. He is inkable. He costs 4. He hits for 3. He defends for 3. As you were, whenever this character quests, you may give chosen character a -2 attack until the start of your next turn. He quests for 1, and he is a common. That's kind of cool. That could be interesting for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I this could be really useful. The fact that you can nerf a character every turn for 2, and it lasts until the start of your next turn. So it's not just for this turn, so you can hit into them, but actually makes them tougher so they can't hit into you, or makes them weaker so they can't hit into you next turn. I think this could be a undervalued card, potentially. But it is kind of expensive at 4 cost.
I mean, when you compare it to Kita, where everybody gets -3
for the turn.
3, yeah.
Yeah.
Until the start of your next turn.
Mm-hmm. But it's only once.
But it's only once, and it also affects your characters. Yep. So, I guess I could see 4. 3 would have been preferable, but...
Yeah, I think the 4 is probably the right cost. But, it's you have to quest with him. He only quests for 1. You have to quest with him to get that benefit. He only quests for 1, so that's kind of... Yeah. But if you've got some punching to do, and you have other characters to do some punching, then this could be a really valuable card. And I think it's one of those that when this card is good, it's really good. And then there are going to be times when this card is really not what you're looking for. But when it's good, it's great.
Yeah, it can save your butt for sure. On to card 6.
Number 6, Daisy Duck, Lovely Lady. It's a 1 cost inkable card that has 1 attack, 3 toughness, quest for 1, and is an uncommon. We've seen a lot of these 1/3s for a 1-drop. Amber's now getting 1. Pretty standard. There's Few decks, and there's some times when this is really, really nice. But it's the same as kind of the others. When you have something like a removal that you can, I'm thinking of Teeth and Ambitions. It's really nice for those types of things. But yeah, pretty vanilla.
Number 7, another Daisy Duck. Musketeer Spy. She's a 4-cost inkable, 2 strength, 3 willpower. Infiltration. When you play this character, each opponent chooses and discards a card. She quests for 1. She's common. That is pretty nice.
Oh no, Amber discard.
Yeah, that's gonna.
Yeah, I think it's. I feel like it's pretty expensive, 4-cost. To have your opponent discard a card, it's only a 2/3 that quests for 1. That being said, I think you're paying a premium for that discard, and there are obviously mechanics and stuff that really benefit from getting your opponents to discard cards. I mean, obviously you benefit from getting your opponents to discard a card, but paying 4 to discard 1 card and ending up with a 2/3 for 1 on the board doesn't feel very good to me unless you're getting some added benefit from little, what is it, Prince John or Eric?
Yeah, Prince John.
Unless you're getting a value from something like that, this isn't going to feel very good, I don't think.
I mean, you had the second set, Daisy Duck, who cost 4. She's inkable. I can't remember her strength and willpower, but she quests for 2, and every time she quests, you discard a card.
Yeah.
So that one still feels better, but there's not much discard in Amber, so like you said, that could just be that premium.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a 4-cost 2/3 questing for 2. So it's the same stat line, and it's every time she quests, and she quests for an extra one versus this one. So, yeah, this is only going in a few decks, because I think it's just too expensive.
Yeah, agreed. Number 8.
Number 8, Donald Duck, Musketeer Soldier. It's a 3-cost inkable, 2 strength, 3 willpower. It's a bodyguard that quests for 1 and says, when you play this character, chosen character gets +1 lore this turn and is an uncommon. So basically it's a Simba's bodyguard, 2/3, inkable. Simba's a 2-cost instead of this is a 3-cost. But this adds, when you play this character, chosen character gets +1 lore this turn. I kind of like this. Mechanics like that remove that feeling of remove instances where when I'm playing, I feel like I've lost the game and I'm just passing for them to just ready and quest. That does, I feel like I don't like games ending like that. Whereas this allows you to, you think you're okay, you've got the opponent to 19, they're only going to get to 19 next turn. They have a Donald Duck on hand, and they can play it, and then give themselves +1 lore to get the win. I like that. Obviously, I'd rather be on the winning end of that, but I do like the fact that that is a... I know a lot of people have been pretty disappointed with, or frustrated, playing into Merlin Goat, but that's one of the things that I do like is the fact that there are more cards now that can sneak in a win. It's also worth noting this is a Musketeer, so there's a couple cards from the first chapter that interacted with Musketeer characters. This would be impacted by that. I'd like to build a Musketeer deck that might, and we may be getting, I don't know what other Musketeers we may get in this set, but I'm hoping we get a lot because I like the Musketeer set.
It's gonna probably be pretty viable after this.
Nice.
Yeah, so like you said, it's kind of like a Merlin Go. As long as you have another character on your board, then that's pretty dope.
Yep.
Sneak in a win. I've been blessed by Merlin Goats, and I've been screwed by Merlin Goats. So
yeah.
Number 9, we got another Madrigal, Felix, the fun-loving family man. He costs 3. He's inkable, 2 strength, 4 willpower, quest for 2, vanilla card. He's uncommon. That's pretty decent, actually.
Yeah.
The 4 willpower is pretty nice.
Yeah.
I know you see a lot of them like 3/3 quest for 2 at 3 cost, but that's pretty decent.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting spot because I need to see what some of the other mechanics are in this like set as far as what other actions there might be that you could use Felix to trigger off of or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, at 4 toughness, he's going to be a little bit challenging to get off the board. He's going to avoid a lot of the removal mechanics that you would not want to typically use on a small character. Is that right? The type of removal that you would typically use on all the small characters can't take care of Felix, and the fact that may be enough to make him viable in some of the more aggro decks.
Yeah. If he had bodyguard. Whew.
No.
But he doesn't.
No.
So, number 10.
Number 10, Gaston, Despicable Dealer. He is a 3-cost uninkable. 2 attack, 4 willpower. That can quest for 1 and says you may tap this card and you may, if you do, you may pay 2 ink less for the next character you play this turn, and he is a super rare. That is interesting. It's a 3-cost. It's like a 2 Plutos.
Yeah,
but
so
he ends
Pluto,
up
that's
with
1 uninkable.
Yeah, he's a 1 uninkable 0/2. This is a 2/4. That is a 3 cost. I like this quite a bit. I think that the 4 willpower is enough to make it kind of difficult to deal with. Like you're going to have to potentially, I'm trying to think, on turn 4, if your opponent uses this plays it on turn 3, uses it on turn 4. So that's your first time it's exerted. If you're wanting to swing at it, if you're wanting to challenge it, you're gonna have to sink 2 mechanics into it. So you're probably gonna have to either use a character and lose it, or use a character that might live, but you're gonna have to buff it up somehow, or swing 2 characters into this. It's interesting. I like this quite a bit. Kind of a just imagine. Goodness, I mean, if you had Pluto on turn 1, Lantern on turn 2, this on turn 3, and then you could drop a Chernobog on turn 4 anyway.
Well, if you had a Pluto on turn 1, you could do this on turn 2.
Yeah. It's interesting.
So,
they have a lot of
cost-wise, set 3 had Heart of Atlantis, which is an item tapped to pay 2 ink less for the next character you play this turn. So it's 1 cost less than that, and it's a character on board. That's quite a deal, in my opinion.
It's interesting. Yeah, I had forgotten about that card. The items are going to be harder to deal with. So if you got Heart of Atlantis on the board, it's going to stick around. You'll be able to use it more often, in theory, at least. So I'm sure that's why it costs a little bit less. But actually, and Gaston and Heart of Atlantis can be used on the same turn, generally, right? If you're going to probably get it out on turn 4. And items can be used the turn they're played, versus Gaston comes out on 3 and you can use them on 4. It's interesting.
Yeah, that's true. I like him. 11.
Yeah.
This is Golden Harp, Enchanter of the Land. Cost 1. She's inkable. Has 1 strength. 4 willpower. Wow. Sorry, this one just kind of blew my mind. She costs 1. She's inkable. 1 strength, 4 willpower. At the end of your turn, if you didn't play a song, banish this character, and she quests for 2. So you can't drop her on turn 1.
No.
I mean, you can.
No, you can drop her for turn 2. Banish her. Yeah.
She's rare. It's a rare. Yeah. That's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah,
that could be very interesting. I mean, obviously that has to go in like a song deck. or else she's pretty useless.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be in a steel song or something like it. It's interesting. Seems like there's a very heavy focus on songs this set.
Yeah.
In the first 11 cards, we've hit 2 big singers, and then this. Yeah, I kind of like it because it does mean on like turn 2 or 3. I'm sorry, on turn 3 or 4, when you have 3 or 4 ink, you could play her and still get a song out. And I'm thinking, like, the only 2 song I can think of is One Jump Ahead.
Bare Necessities.
Bare Necessities, yeah. So yeah, that's even.
Well, you also got turn 1, Cinderella.
Oh sure, yeah, she could sing on 2.
Yep.
She could sing a 3 cost on turn 2. So yeah, this is. I wonder if there's going to end up with a hyper aggro, or it might be fun to make a hyper aggro song deck that runs a bunch of these, and you're just trying to
just keep her alive.
Yeah, well, keep her and keep board. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I like it.
Yeah, that could be
that'll be a fun deck. I'll probably try to make that deck based off of 11 cards in this set. I'm sure nothing will change.
Number 12.
Number 12.
Yeah,
Goofy.
you're really gonna build one deck.
Yep, that's it. I'm committed. Goofy, Musketeer Swordsman. He's a 4-cost uninkable, 3 attack, 4 toughness. Quest for 2 that says, whenever you play a character with bodyguard, ready this character, and he can't quest for the rest of this turn. And he is a rare.
I'm sorry, you missed my favorite part about this card. Ongorsh! That's fantastic. I love it so much. That's hilarious.
Sure. Yep. I skip that
anyway,
every time.
Continue.
Didn't even see that on the card. I don't even read that text.
When we posted that in Discord, I died laughing because that's really funny.
Didn't even notice it. I think this is going in a Musketeer deck and nothing else. I say that Musketeer or a bodyguard heavy deck. It's going to have a lot of bodyguards. 4 cost 3/4. Yeah. 4 cost 3/4. That's uninkable. I think is too expensive. If you cannot pretty consistently rely on him readying. But what I'm I'm personally kind of confused on. I don't know if I want him to ready him just to protect him, or if I'm hoping to quest, ready, and swing with him. He's only a 3/4. I think it probably depends if you have some of the other Musketeers. Obviously, the Musketeers pretty heavily play with one another as far as buffing each other and stuff. So you might be able to buff up that attack. I can't remember all the Musketeer cards right off the top of my head, but
I know there's a bunch of new ones too. So
yeah, and there's there's gonna be some new ones now. It seems like so. There might be some ways to like buff up his attack, but 3 attack isn't it's not going to take out most locations. It's not going to take out any of the bigger characters that you might need to deal with. Heck, this won't even take out a golden harp in one shot. So, I think generally it's going to be too expensive unless you're playing a bodyguard / musketeer deck. In which case, we'll see.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I agree with all of that. So 13. Julieta Madrigal, excellent cook. 3 cost, inkable. She has 1 strength, 4 willpower. Signature recipe: when you play this character, you may remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. If you remove damage this way, you may draw a card. So not quite Rapunzel. You get to draw 1 card and only remove 2 damage, but still nice. Cheaper than Rapunzel.
Yeah. Quest for 1 and is uncommon.
Oh,
but yeah, I think you're right. I think at a 3 cost, this is pretty good. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think, I know for myself, I often end up getting greedy when it comes to trying to play my Rapunzels. I always want to draw 2 or 3 cards. I really don't want to play her to heal 1 damage and only draw 1 card. Whereas Julieta, I wouldn't be, so what, I only got to heal 1 card. As long as I remove damage, I get to draw a card. And that's my main target with this.
Yep.
I think it's okay, and also I think for the Amber decks, it could be just a heal a little bit of damage to draw a card and can sing for 3. So the fact that it's a 1/4 that only quests for 1 in a song deck isn't going to be a huge hindrance. So, yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I like that. On to 14.
14, Max Loyal Sheepdog. He is a 3-cost Inkable with 4 attack and 3 willpower that can quest for 1 and says, if you have a character named Prince Eric in play, you may pay 1 ink less to play this character. And he's a common. So on face value, looking at just this card, I really like it. I don't know if there is a 1-cost Prince Eric. This is insane. I don't know what Prince Eric exists. So I don't know if there's a 1-cost. If there's not a 1-cost, this gets a lot less crazy.
2, 3, 6, and 4.
So okay, so not quite as insane. But still, even later in the game, a 4/3 is a pretty decent body. And the fact that you can get that out for only 2 ink, assuming you have a Prince Eric in play, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that could be a pretty decent hitter for an Amber deck. I mean, they don't have too many big guys, but the few that they have, this definitely goes to the bunch. Number 15. Mickey Mouse, leader of the band. 4 cost, Inkable, 2 strength, 5 willpower. They have support. Strike up the music. When you play this character, chosen character gains support this turn. Quest for 1, uncommon. That could be interesting, giving someone support. I don't know how often I would be happy to draw that card.
Yeah, I think my gut says that it's too situational.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of support, but it has helped me out less than I would have liked. I think it's a really neat idea. I like the mechanic of it, but to have a 4-cost 2/5, yeah, I don't know. That seems awfully expensive to only
questing for 1 kind of kills this for me.
Yeah.
If this was a 3-cost in quest for 1 or a 4-cost in quest for 2, I think it would have sold me to have 2 of.
I would even take like a 4-cost 2. I'd definitely take a 2/4 that quests for 2. I'm trying to think if I would take a 4-cost 2/3 questing for 2 with the same text. I might.
Wouldn't stick around as long.
It wouldn't stick around as long, but you're getting that when you play this character, somebody gets support, and then he can support once and at least quest for 2. So you're gonna get a couple supports off in theory. So I don't know. I don't like it. Frankly, with the way it is, 2/5 questing for 1 at 4 cost is just, it's not there for me.
Yeah, I guess debating hypotheticals of cards isn't the best.
Not very useful when we're both saying this isn't good enough.
Yeah. 16.
16. Mickey Mouse, Musketeer Captain. He is a 7-cost uninkable that has 3 attack and 6 willpower. It is a shift character, shift for 5, that has both bodyguard and support. Can quest for 2, and says, when you play this character, if you used shift to play him, you may draw a card for each character with bodyguard you have in play. And he is a legendary. Musketeers are awesome. 3/6 with support for 7. I feel like this is, like most Musketeers, only probably going to be in a Musketeer deck. I could see this having a little bit more versatility in terms of there's obviously there's other Mickey Mouses, so you could shift them in other ways. And 3/6 that's questing for 2 isn't a horrible stat line with bodyguard and support. Gives you a chance to draw some cards. But, I mean, really, that's just so... The bodyguards is such a Musketeer thing.
Yep.
That's probably going to be the only place you see them.
So my takeaway on this is the first time we've seen bodyguard support, and then it doesn't say what those actually do.
Yep.
So that's interesting. I would not mind seeing that more.
Yep.
I mean, you get one draw off him as long as you shift it, at least. And then... Yeah, I don't know. Uninkables, man.
Yeah.
I love them because they're typically more powerful, but I hate them because they're uninkable.
Yeah.
So
that
would be a tough one for me. Yeah, that would be a really tough one for me. Maybe a 2 of, maybe. Or in a Musketeer deck where you just throw them all in and have at it. That'd be kind of cool.
Throw them all in there and hope for some sick combos.
17. Hey, look at that. Another Musketeer.
Here we go.
Minnie Mouse, Musketeer champion. She cost 5, and she is uninkable. 1 attack, 5 willpower. She has bodyguard. Dramatic entrance. When you play this character, banish chosen opposing character with 5 attack or more. Quest for 2. She is super rare. That is... What? That was a song. Last set. Banish chosen opposing character with 5 attack or more.
Yeah. World's Greatest Criminal Mastermind.
That's it. Yep. That's really cool.
So...
Bodyguard 1/5. That's another one. It's uninkable. I could... Oh... My gut's telling me no.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards no. World's Greatest Criminal Mastermind was 3 cost and inkable. Obviously doesn't get you a 1/5 on the board.
Or 2 lore.
Yeah, for a 2 lore. Dragonfire is another comparable card to this. It's a 5 cost uninkable, so they match that but Dragonfire can kill anything instead of it having to have 5 attack or more. I think that in the current set, like in the current meta that I've seen, this isn't good enough. There's not a ton of characters coming out with 5 or more attack. There are some, but I don't feel like I want to hold on to this Minnie Mouse to kill somebody's Maui the turn after it's already done its thing because it's rushed out and killed my stuff. Generally, I don't think that I like that. But if there's a lot of bigger, higher attack characters in this set, then maybe it becomes viable. If you ended up popping a Cinderella Stouthearted with this, that'd feel great.
That'd be really good. Yeah.
So there's definitely some situations that this would be good. If it is in mini decks, it's not a 4 of. It's going to be 2 probably.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's going to be in the Musketeer deck because I still think there's enough value there. You get the bodyguard to draw extra cards off the Mickey, other things triggering off of bodyguard and Musketeer. You can probably still make it work in other Musketeer decks, but unless there's a lot more high attack characters coming, it's not good enough.
The best thing about this card is it's enchanted. But again,
Black background,
gold swirliness, and a black background.
The artwork on this one does look different, though. with this set. I mean, we've only seen 2 enchanteds, but with those 2 enchanteds, the artwork itself is different. I like this art style a little bit better than the last art style. Kind of the, I don't know what that watercolor painting style, oil painting, whatever it was. I'm not an art person.
This is kind of that wasn't similar ish. It's not
some of the background is, but like if you look at the Minnie's face, there's a lot more. I don't know. It's done a little differently. I don't know. I'm not an art person.
It is done a little differently. Yeah.
So I like this a little bit better. You're right. There are aspects of it that do seem very similar.
It's kind of like blending a few different art styles together. Is what it looks like.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's not talk about art. Next.
Because we don't know what we're talking about.
We don't know anything about that.
So it's Mirabelle Madrigal, gift of the family. She is a 5-cost uninkable character that is 3 attack and 5 willpower. She has support. She can quest for 2. It says whenever this character quests, your other Madrigal characters get +1 lore this turn, and she is a super rare. Ooh, this is this seems pretty strong to me. 3/5 is a pretty big body for support. To give buff something for 3 is pretty good. And then even if you don't use that support so much, she's going to give your other Madrigal characters +1 lore. I think that's good enough to be a 5-cost uninkable. And make a deck. I mean, obviously, I think it'll be really good in Madrigal decks, but even in decks that may be like quote unquote splashing Madrigals, where there's not a ton of them, but you've got a few of them. A 3/5 questing for 2 with support may be good enough at 5 cost to make the cut anyway.
That's some decent attack. I mean, I wouldn't mind adding 3 to any of my characters when I'm ready to swing with them. I can see that one being useful, as long as you have other Madrigals.
Yeah, you're going to have other Madrigals. I just double-checked. I just looked up Maximus from the first chapter. He was a 4/5 with Bodyguard and support, only questing for 1. I think it's kind of a comparable card.
What was his cost?
5 and inkable. So the fact that he's inkable makes him quite a bit better. So the fact that he has 1 extra attack and is inkable versus Madrigal's 1 extra lore.
And effect.
And her effect. I think it's with the effect, it is worth it. I think if you're not getting pretty consistent value off of her effect, I think you probably wouldn't be running it. I changed my mind. But in a Madrigal deck, very good.
Yes. 19. Mirabelle Madrigal. Prophecy Finder. She costs 2. She is inkable. 2 attack, 2 willpower. She has support. She quests for 1. And she's a common. That didn't shift, right? Yeah, no. Okay. Well, that's a pretty basic one. I guess if you have aggro and somebody drops a bigger body on an early turn, you need to try and take it out. This would be your best bet. But
yeah, supports are also nice for dealing with locations.
Yeah, it's true.
Or could be nice for dealing with locations. Yeah. I think she goes in the Madrigal decks because she's hoping to benefit off of the other Madrigals. Not something that's like great on its own, though. Yeah, I think it only makes those decks. Makes Madrigal decks.
Number 20.
Number 20, Pluto, Rescue Dog. He is a 5-cost inkable character that has 4 attack and 5 willpower. And quests for 2. And says, when you play this character, you may remove up to 3 damage from chosen character. And he can quest for 2. Oh, and is a common. Healing for 3 is quite a bit. I actually like this. This seems like a really strong common. 4/5 is a pretty good body. Questing for 2, pretty good. Getting extra heal in there. I think this seems really strong to me for a common. I'm not saying it's going to win you a game, but that seems pretty strong.
That's 2 healing cards this set, which is interesting.
It's kind of Amber's thing. Amber's kind of healing.
Yeah, I mean Sapphire a little more, but it could be. I guess set 3 they didn't have very much healing, but set 2 they did, because there was a couple other like Rapunzels that removed a little bit of damage.
Yeah. Yep. And set 1.
I'm just completely skipping over set 3. I think that one could be very viable.
Yeah, it feels pretty strong to me.
I
won't be disappointed to get that on Friday's draft.
Yeah. Number 21.
Hello?
Yep.
21.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh. Hey,
it
did go. Interesting. Prince Eric. Not seafaring. Well, he probably did fear the sea after Ursula got a hold of him. Seafaring Prince. He costs 3. He's inkable. He has 3 attack. He has 3 willpower. He's a bodyguard. He quests for 1, and he's a common. Not bad. Not great. Pretty basic.
Yeah, pretty basic.
Point.
But I think that this makes it a lot more viable. 22. This. 22. Prince Eric, Ursula's groom. He's a 6-cost inkable. That is a 5 attack, 5 willpower. That has shift 4. Quest for 2. It's an uncommon and says, while you have a character named Ursula in play, this character gains bodyguard and gets +2 willpower. Yeah, this seems like this line of playing the last Prince Eric on turn 3 and then being able to shift it the next turn and potentially have a 5/7 on the board if you played a 2-cost Ursula with bodyguard. Like that is, I have a 5/7 on turn 4 that I can quest for 2. That feels pretty strong. That seems really strong to me. And now I'm just going to start dropping maxes 4/3, the dog 4/3 max for 2. 4/3 dog for 2.
Wow.
That seems really strong.
There are some new Ursulas coming up. Spoiler alert. That do cost 2, so that is a very viable option.
I was saying, isn't the green one, the green Ursula already
From last set?
From last set, yeah. She's the one that lets
uncommon.
you look at your opponent's hand and discard a song.
Yep.
So there's I knew of that one already, so there's probably more. This is Ursula's Revenge, right? That's the name of this set. Or something like that. Ursula's Return. It's close.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah, I was like, that's not quite right.
I don't know. Something like that.
So yeah, I think this is strong. If you can get the combo off, it's really strong. If you don't get to shift this end and you had to hard cast it, I still think it feels okay if you have the Ursula. I think a 5/7 bodyguard with that quest for 2 for 6 is acceptable. And the fact that you can sometimes shift this in makes it good.
Yeah, I like it. So on to 23. Adorable. Stitch, Alien Dancer. He costs 2. He's inkable. He hits for 2. He has 3 willpower, and he quests for 1. He's a common. Pretty standard. He has 1 more willpower, I guess, than your typical standard 2/2.
Well, that's a 1-cost 2/2.
It's
the other Stitch is a 1-cost 2/2. So for 1 extra ink, you get 1 more willpower.
Oh, new dog. Yeah, you're right.
Yep. It's whatever. It's vanilla. It's
It's vanilla.
yeah. I don't think
24.
it's great, but Ursula, Eric's Bride. It's a 4-cost uninkable that is a 2 strength, 4 willpower that has shift, discard a song card. She quests for 2, is a rare, and says whenever this character quests, chosen opponent reveals their hand and discards a non-character card of your choice. Whoa. What's that?
Bare necessities.
Yeah. Yeah. This seems real good to me. I like, this is the first time we've seen shift discard a song. So this set, they have added some shift mechanics that are not just pay a little bit less than the normal price. It is usually the ones that I remember seeing are discard a something, so discard an action or discard a song in this case.
I think I've seen item and location too.
Okay. So I think that's really cool, but it just is. It really depends on the card in your hand, right? Because there's been plenty of times where I've been on turn 2 or 3 and been like, well, this card is useless for if you've got I don't have a great example on top of my head because the 2 that came to mind was Be Prepared and Lucky Dime, and both of those are in my ramp deck. So, but if you've got something that is you're not going to play or soon, or you're not going to play against the matchup you're in, and being able to just go ahead and discard it and have something like this out is pretty good. And the fact that you can continuously look at your opponent's hand every turn when she quests, and if they have a non-character card, you can just keep making them discard. It means every time your opponent draws a card on their turn, if they can't deal with your Ursula, and they drew a card that's not a character, they know they've got to either ink it or play it because you're going to make them discard it. And that is very strong.
Yeah, making people do things they don't want to do usually is great.
But yeah, forcing them to decide to either go ahead and ink it because I'm going to make you discard it.
Or risking discarding, yeah.
Yeah, it's... Oh, yeah, that seems really strong.
Yeah, especially, if you had the Prince Eric on the board, those 2 play off each other. They have the exact same art, except for them. It's kind of cool. Yep. Those 2 playing off each other, that could be stupid strong. Yeah. Especially because if you're on turn 4, if you have a 2-drop Ursula down, you could shift her at any time. Yeah. And then if you have your shift 4 Eric, so turn 4, if you could drop both of those, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
That'd actually be super sick.
And it's another discard mechanic for Amber. Worth noting.
That's true. If you have a Bare Necessities in your hand, throw it away to shift
it gives the same ability. Yeah, get the same.
And then you can quest immediately and do the same thing.
Yep.
And gain 2 lore and not pay 2 ink.
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's strong.
But one of the things that it can shift from is this Ursula. This is her human form, Vanessa. She costs 2. She's inkable. 1 attack, 4 willpower, Singer 4, and she quests for 1.
Singer 4 feels weird to me.
Yeah. I think we had a Minnie Mouse in the last set that did the same thing. Sang 4 and then did something with bodyguards. But that is interesting. There could be new 4-cost songs, though, so we've not been to the songs yet.
Could be.
26?
26. It's a Bruno's Return. It is a 2-cost uninkable action. It's our first action. It says return a character card from your discard to your hand, then remove up to 2 damage from chosen character. I don't like that this is uninkable, but it seems like a really strong effect for 2 ink. Being able to, if you played Big Cinderella and your opponent uses the Minnie Mouse and gets rid of her immediately, the fact that you can just be like, well, no, I'm going to take Big Cindy back. Being able to pull those cards out of your discard can be very impactful if you get those bombs back. And 2 cost for that seems very cheap. So it seems strong for that case. The problem is if you don't end up, that's only valuable after your bombs get into your discard.
Yeah.
If you look at this, it's interesting. I like it. I think it's pretty good. I think it's just if you can fit this in based on your other uninkable count, then this is a pretty good card. But this may be one of the earlier ones you cut when you're looking to try and, if you've got too many uninkables in your deck.
Yes, absolutely worst case, if you didn't have any ink in your hand, you could play this, grab an inkable character, and then ink it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would be a great decision or not. You're spending 2 ink to gain 1 more, but
one
at least
ink.
you get to ink the turn.
It wouldn't feel good. I can tell you, it wouldn't feel good. If I did it, I know I wouldn't feel good about it.
Yeah. That would be a desperate measure kind of deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
27, First Aid. It's an action. Cost 1. It's inkable. Remove up to 1 damage from each of your characters. There's more healing. That's...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. One damage from each of your characters. I mean, that could be like a slap in the face if somebody plays a big tink on you. You just heal them up right away. That'd be pretty funny. Other than that, it's okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think through, like, how much damage would I have to heal to feel good about this? I don't know. Yeah. In the current set, in the current, like, meta, I don't think this is very good. But I can think of some, like, changes and tweaks in the meta that could make this good anyway. Like, maybe this could become relevant. If Big Tink becomes more popular, maybe... I'm trying to... I'm thinking if I got off a heal of even as few as 2 or 3, then that might be... If I had 2 or 3 characters I was able to heal, that might be enough to feel good about it. But I think it just feels really situational. I will say the fact that it's inkable and if you get it, you can just go ahead and drop it in the inkwell is at least it's inkable, but it doesn't feel good enough yet. Not in the current meta.
28.
It's a song. Look at this family. It's a 7-cost inkable song that has Sing Together 7, which I'll come back to. But its effect is, look at the top 5 of your cards of your deck. You may reveal up to 2 character cards and put them into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order, and it is a rare. So Sing Together is a new mechanic for this set that allows you to tap any number of your teammates' characters with a total cost of 7 or more to play this song for free. So you tap a 4 cost and a 3 cost, and then play this card for free and still have a turn 5, for example. So looking at the top 5 cards of your deck, picking the best 2 characters out of those 5 and putting those in your hand seems pretty strong. I don't know that I would want to exert 2 of my characters to do this, but if I had a character that I could exert 1 to do this, I'd feel very good about it. And depending on the board state, I may feel good to go ahead and, like I said, if it's a turn 5, I have a 3 cost and a 4 cost on the board. I can exert both of them to play this for free. go find a good 5-drop and play it on turn 5, that's a nice, that could be a really nice play as long as you're not open yourself up for a big swing back or something. So yeah, I like this card. The mechanics that allow you to look at the top card, like look at the top 5 and put 2 in your hand, or look at the top 3, the Gaston, look at the top 3, put your best 1 in your hand. Things like that are usually pretty strong. I think this will be quite strong.
Yeah. Quite strong and enchanted.
The enchanted, I find this interesting. I was going to say the enchanted non-character cards. Even this one has a very black background. You have this kind of golden wispy foreground with the characters in the doorway or whatever, but even behind that, it's just black. I don't know. It's interesting.
I don't hate it. I don't think I love it.
Yeah.
So for the next one, we got Lost in the Woods. That's our action song. It costs 4. It's inkable. All opposing characters get -2 attack until the start of your next turn. I'd rather have Akita. Personally.
You can shift Akita for 3, hardcast it up for 4. I think the fact that you can sing this does make it decent.
Yeah. Also, it doesn't hit your characters, so I guess that is a plus.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I could see this being playable in a handful of situations. I'm thinking of some where, maybe you can't win this turn, but you can probably win next turn. So if you can play this song and make it so all of your characters are that much harder to deal with next turn, so you can win on the following turn, could be a good place to get it in. Again, the fact that you can sing this does make it a little easier to get off. Yeah. It's an interesting one, though. It's pretty situational.
Yep.
But I will say, I played into Kita for probably if not the first time ever, the first time regularly. I think I ran into it 3 or 4 times yesterday when we were playing at the store, and every single time it felt real bad. So today, right now, I'm going to say it's good. I think that's highly biased by the fact that I had Kita rough me up a few times yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, Kita let me win one of those games against you.
Yep, that was one of the times.
It was the deciding factor.
Yeah, Keegan did the other one. So
nice.
Yeah.
30.
30. Sign the Scroll. It is an action. It is a 3-cost uninkable that says each opponent may choose and discard a card. For each opponent who doesn't, gain 2 lore. Holy crap! In a group game, this is going to be hilarious.
That would be hilarious.
I want to play another 8-player game and play this and risk gaining 14 lore on the spot and let the other 7 players all argue about who's going to discard and who isn't so that I don't win. Outside of those big group games, I don't think this is great. Well, I take that back. I think it probably is pretty decent, but you give your opponent a lot of control by letting them pick if they want to discard, and then which card they also want to discard, because they may have trash in their hand. They're just, I don't want to discard it because I never want to discard, but whatever. I don't know, but in those group games, this is gonna feel real fun.
This could also be very interesting for a discard deck, because if they don't have a card to discard, you still gain 2 lore.
True. Yeah, if their hand is empty, it's just 3. But man, 3 costs to gain 2 lore feels like a lot to me.
I mean, kinda, I guess.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot to compare it against.
That's what I'm trying to think of too.
That aren't characters, right? That you can gain. Yeah, I can gain 2 lore off of a 1-cost character. So, but like, there's the. Oh, I don't remember the name of these cards. Bosses on a Roll? Is that the one that allows you to just gain a lore? Look at the top 5 cards and then gain a lore. That's a 3-cost. Get you one like that. That probably is a decent comparison. So it's a song, so it can be played for free. It's also 3-cost. It's inkable, and instead of letting my opponent choose what card to discard or if they want to discard, I get to look at the top 5 cards of my deck, put some on top or on bottom, and gain 1 lore. So, like, the difference is in the Bosses on a Roll, I pay a lore to be able to look at the top 5 cards of my deck and put them in any order. Like, I would take Bosses on a Roll anytime, any day over that. And it's inkable versus this being uninkable.
Yeah.
I don't think this gets there. But there may be somewhere where it works. I just don't see it yet.
It would be really fun in a multiplayer deck.
Oh yeah,
honestly.
The multiplayer games would be
that would be
juicy.
super fun.
Yeah.
31. Miracle Candle. 2-cost, inkable. Banish this item. If you have 3 or more characters in play, gain 2 lore and remove up to 2 damage from chosen location. So there you go. Gain 2 lore for cheaper. If you have 3 or more characters, I guess.
Yeah, you gotta have board kind of flooded, right? So you have to have 3 or more characters and have a location to benefit from the 2 damage. I mean, you don't have to have the location on the board to get the 2 lore, I guess, but to get the benefit of the healing from the location, that seems really hard to pull off, unless you're in a really hyper aggro deck, which this might be good for. But
yeah, I mean, that would just be gain 2 lore for me, pretty much 90% of the time.
Yeah,
99 even.
Yeah.
32.
32. Record Player. It's an item. It is a 2-cost inkable that says, whenever you play a song, chosen character gets -2 attack until the start of your next turn, and your character's name Stitch count as having +1 cost to sing song. Interesting.
I'm really disappointed in this card. This is where Stitch puts his finger on the record and then he opens his mouth and it starts playing out of his mouth.
Yep.
That would have been even funnier to me if they did the whole picture. But
they did.
Whatever.
They had zoomed it out.
Yeah.
But this is the record player. It's a picture of the record player while Stitch is doing that.
Yeah.
I think this is pretty good. I think that just whenever you play a song, chosen character gets -2 attack until the start of your next turn. We've talked about that a little bit. There's a lot more mechanics of that in this set, as far as a reduced attack until the start of your next turn. That seems to be more common theme in this set. So a 2-cost. I'm just looking at that part of it. 2-cost for that capability seems pretty decent. Items typically hit the board and they stay on the board. Pretty hard to deal with at the moment. And I think being able to soften up an opponent to let you swing into them, or to soften up an opponent so they can't, take out your characters quite as efficiently next turn, is good. And then the fact that the Stitch characters get to sing for 1 extra is good. I like it.
Yeah. It's just an added bonus, really.
Yeah.
It'd be a pretty decent card with just the top text.
Yeah, I think it's good enough with the top text, and the bottom text just makes it that much better.
Yeah. So 33, we have our first location. It is Atlantica Concert Hall. It Costs 1. It's inkable. Costs 2 to move. 6 willpower. Underwater acoustics. Characters count as having +2 cost to sing songs while here. That could be, I mean, with all the songs and singing that they're coming out with, that is awesome for a song deck. Move random characters there that can't typically sing anything worthwhile, and now they magically can. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. Cinderella singing for 5 on turn 3 seems pretty nuts. Cinderella. Right? Yeah. Turn 1, play Cinderella. Turn 2, play this. Turn 3, move her here and sing for 5. Oh, God. Yeah, what chaos have they created? That's
turn 3, grab your swords. Turn 3, whole new world. Turn 3.
Yeah. All of those 5 costs
let it go.
are pretty brutal.
Jesus. Yeah.
So, wow. And obviously, by turn 3, it's pretty unlikely. It's not impossible. There's the steal action card that can just pop a location, but it's pretty unlikely that they're going to be able to deal with a 6 toughness location on your turn 3, like before turn 3. So you'll probably be able to get that off if you've hit those 2 characters. But I mean, you might be able to pull those 2 things off. How valuable will it be? Right, you're going to be grabbing your swords into not a huge board, probably 2 or 3 characters. But those are going to be the characters that are going to punch them. Yeah. And those are going to be the characters that, can be taken out by a grab your sword. So,
especially if you go second. Oof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's interesting. That'll be. It'll be in. That'd be kind of cool. Be neat in those song decks.
So number 34.
34. The Underworld. It is River Styx. It's a location. It is 2 cost, inkable. You can move here for 2, has 6 willpower, and says, whenever a character quests while here, you may pay 3 ink to return a character card from your discard to your hand. It is a rare and gives you 1 lore per turn. I was trying to think how quickly you could get this, kind of pull this off. And I think the answer is it's going to be really late. It's going to be maybe turn... I was thinking it was going to be turn 3, but really I think it's going to be turn 4, maybe even 5. Because you have to play the location. It's going to cost you 2. You're going to have to move somebody here, which is going to cost you 2. And then you have to pay 3 to pull this mechanic off. I don't think this is strong enough now, but if there become more combo decks or there are more combos in this set, I'm thinking of like the Green Steel Beast Sheriff of Nottingham combo. If there ends up being more things like that where I just need to get these 2 or 3 things on the board and I win the game, and you have one of those in your discard, then these type of mechanics become very valuable because somehow they destroyed my beast. I need the beast back so I can pull off my mechanic, and I am willing to pay this to go get my beast back and know that I'm just going to go get my beast. But unless there are more combos, I don't think this is good enough.
Yeah, this feels pretty late. Because you're right. Even if you move the character there and they quest and you can't, or anything happens and they destroy that character, you can no longer quest on that turn 4 or 5 because they're gone, and then you wouldn't have enough ink to pay for anything else. So, yeah,
it's going to be a pretty late game. Like I said, I think if you have got a combo you're trying to pull off, then might be good enough. It's just otherwise no. I just don't think it's quite good enough.
Agreed. That is Amber. It's all 34 cards of Amber.
We did it.
We're going to try and get through these by the end of the week and get them all out to you guys, or at least all 6 colors by Sunday. We'll see.
Yeah, we're scrounging around trying to find these last couple images of a few of the missing cards. Yeah. So there may be a couple pockets that we can't quite get. Hopefully we get them all. We will see.
Yeah. So let us know how excited you guys are for set 4. What's your favorite card of Amber? What do you think the most expensive non-enchanted is going to be of Amber?
Ooh.
That's always an interesting thing that I like to think about.
Yeah. Set 4. Yep.
Let us know in the comments, and we'll see you guys in Amethyst.
Thank you guys.